And finally tonight here, World News always looking to celebrate a little American ingenuity. And we first showed you the GoPro camera some time back here. Tonight, the company we've learned is now worth about $3 billion. It had us thinking, why didn't we think of that? ABC's Matt Govern tonight.
GoPro went from an $11 billion icon of innovation to a cautionary tale in just a few years. The fall wasn't random. It began with one ambitious bet that exposed how fragile the growth story really was. This was not a slow decline from obscurity. In 2014, GoPro became a public company, meaning its shares began trading on the stock market, allowing everyday investors to buy ownership. On its first day, the stock surged nearly 30%. Within months, the company's valuation climbed above $11 billion. Investors believed GoPro had built something rare, not just a gadget, but a category. And culturally, it felt true. If you watched first-person footage of a surfer inside a wave, a skier racing down a mountain, or a traveler jumping off a cliff into the ocean, it was probably filmed on a GoPro. The brand became synonymous with adventure. It did not just sell cameras. It sold perspective. It sold the idea that anyone could capture extraordinary moments. By 2015, annual revenue had climbed past $1.6 billion. GoPro dominated the action camera market. Then came the reversal. A high-profile drone recall, mounting losses, workforce cuts. The stock fell more than 80% from its highs. So how does a company that invents its own market nearly sink itself? In this video, we'll break down how GoPro rose so quickly, the billion-dollar failure that triggered its fall, the deeper structural shift most people missed, and why internal incentives made recovery harder than expected. Because GoPro didn't collapse from bad luck. It stumbled when early success masked structural risk. And in business, the same strengths that fuel explosive growth can quietly plant the seeds of decline. Truth be told, GoPro didn't start as a global tech giant. It began with a simple idea. Give athletes and adventurers a way to capture their most intense moments without bulky gear. Founder Nick Woodman created the first rugged hands-free camera in 2004, so surfers and other action sport enthusiasts could film themselves without holding a camera. That original focus gave GoPro a first-mover advantage. Before GoPro, filming a ski jump, a wave break, or a mountain bike descent required expensive equipment and technical expertise. GoPro made it easy, and users quickly became the brand's most effective marketers. A video shot with a GoPro had two qualities that resonated: clarity and immersion. It put viewers inside the action, not behind it. GoPro didn't just sell cameras, it sold a way of seeing the world. Its slogan and emotional positioning, "Be a hero," turned customers into storytellers and storytellers into evangelists. That wasn't an accident. It was the heart of GoPro's growth engine. By the time GoPro went public in 2014, annual sales had soared and investor enthusiasm peaked. GoPro's initial public offering, IPO, on the Nasdaq raised hundreds of millions of dollars, and at its height, the company was valued at over $11 billion. At one point, it captured roughly 2/3 of the global action camera market. Structurally, this created a reinforcing loop. Customers created spectacular content. To content drove social visibility. To visibility drove demand. To demand reinforced brand dominance. Here's the key insight. GoPro's rise wasn't just about great hardware. It was about owning a specific cultural niche so completely that its products became shorthand for adventure. But niches have limits. Being beloved by thrill seekers does not guarantee long-term growth in a world where general-purpose technology is improving every year. So what changed?
Oh, absolutely. I think one of the things that GoPro is known for is its versatility. I think that the same phenomena that has so benefited the sales of our cameras will also benefit Karma, and that is our customers buying and using our products for to accomplish things that we haven't even dreamt up, and we expect the same for Karma.
In 2016, GoPro made a bold bet. It would expand from action cameras into consumer drones with a new product called the Karma. The idea was promising, a flying camera that could capture aerial footage and pair seamlessly with GoPro's popular devices. But the outcome was far from what the company expected. GoPro announced the Karma drone on October 23, 2016. Unlike its rugged cameras, drones require complex engineering, flight stability, GPS navigation, battery management, and safety systems. Just a few weeks after launch, users began reporting that the Karma would unexpectedly lose power mid-flight and fall from the sky. In response, GoPro recalled all approximately 2,500 drones sold, offering full refunds instead of replacements. The recall was triggered because some units lost electrical power during operation, a defect that could make the drone crash. This recall damaged more than just the product's reputation. It hit GoPro's finances, damaged consumer trust, and accelerated a decline in stock value. By January 2018, GoPro officially discontinued the Karma and exited the drone market, acknowledging that the product could not compete with rivals like DJI's Mavic series, which offered longer flight times and more advanced features. To understand the structural misstep, think of it this way. Imagine you are amazing at making kick scooters that every kid wants. Because you're successful, you suddenly decide to make motorcycles. But motorcycles require engines, brakes, suspension, and safety testing. Things you've never built before. Just because kids loved your scooters doesn't mean you'll succeed at motorcycles. That's what happened with Karma. GoPro assumed its strong camera brand would automatically translate into drones. A related product, but not one the company had structural expertise in. The result wasn't just a hardware malfunction. It was the belief that adjacency equals advantage. Momentum can disguise risk until diversification exposes it. While the Karma drone failure made headlines, a more powerful shift was happening quietly in the background, and it had nothing to do with drones. By the mid-2010s, smartphone cameras were improving at an aggressive pace. Apple and Samsung introduced 4K video recording, advanced image stabilization, and water-resistant designs that made phones durable enough for everyday adventure use. As smartphone cameras became more capable, casual users increasingly relied on their phones instead of buying separate action cameras. This change didn't happen overnight. It was gradual, and that's what made it dangerous. As smartphones improved year after year, they quietly absorbed the everyday use cases GoPro once dominated. Travelers, parents, and hobbyists realized their phone was good enough for most situations. Here's the structural issue. GoPro operated on a standalone hardware model. Customers would buy a device, use it for years, then maybe upgrade. Smartphones, on the other hand, are replaced every 2 to 3 years. And each upgrade automatically improves the camera. That means the competitive pressure against GoPro intensified annually, whether GoPro launched a new model or not. This is the platform shift. When one multifunction device absorbs your category, specialization becomes optional. If your phone can handle 80 to 90% of what an action camera does, and it's already in your pocket, most people choose convenience. GoPro's real pressure did not begin with drones. It began the day it went public.
It seems like there's a new camera every few months on the market. Xiaomi has the e-action camera. Now Apple, I guess, recently filed a patent to get into the game too. Does this worry you at all?
No. We're not feeling too much pressure from the competitors that you mentioned. I think that GoPro is succeeding because we have millions of customers around the world who capture and share their lives with our product.
In 2014, when GoPro listed its shares, it became something different. It was no longer just a company selling cameras. It became a growth story that investors were betting on. At its peak, the market valued GoPro at over $11 billion, a price that assumed the company would keep expanding far beyond action cameras. That expectation changed the incentives. Public markets reward growth. If revenue rises, the stock rises. If growth slows, the valuation compresses. For a niche hardware company, maintaining rapid expansion year after year is structurally difficult. But once investors expect it, slowing down becomes costly. GoPro assumed customers would upgrade cameras frequently, like smartphones. But action cameras are durable. Many people bought one and kept it for years. Meanwhile, smartphones improved annually, shrinking GoPro's everyday demand. When expectations outrun structural reality, risk compounds quietly. Expansion decisions become driven by maintaining momentum rather than reinforcing advantage. GoPro survived. It restructured. It stabilized. But the billion-dollar stumble revealed something deeper. When growth is priced in before it is structurally secured, even small strategic errors become amplified. Momentum can lift a company quickly. It can also magnify its weaknesses just as fast. If this breakdown helped you understand the mechanics behind the headlines, consider subscribing. The goal isn't to create fear. It's to build frameworks that help you navigate growth, risk, and market cycles with clarity.